In January 2017, on the 5th, it was announced to the world that Anthem Wrestling had bought stakes into what would become known as Impact Wrestling, and a re-amp would happen with names like Sami Callihan, Johnny Impact, and so many more debuting over the course of the next year. It was time for a change. But in this timeline, Anthem didn't buy Impact. Someone else bought Impact. And that is where we begin our journey today. Hello and welcome to Impact Wrestling. This is 2017 Impact, and I've got a huge plan going forward. As I've said previously, we've got the 2020 series, the 1987 series, local to global series, and we've also got this series. That's 3 Impact series on this channel. Not going to happen. So this is TNA Wrestling. We've got Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, and we're going to have a new company, and the local to global series, which you would have seen yesterday, will go out next week with a brand new company name and stuff, so we ain't got loads of Impact, because too much of TNA is not good. It's a good thing. But let's get on with this series, and we're going to start with a news article I have written. Yeah, work we put into these things is ridiculous. It's fake wrestling, and we're doing this sort of shit. Anyway, let me have a cup of tea. Just put everything else over there. There we go. Right. So TNA has been sold to a person who at this time is unknown and will be revealed at Genesis in 4 weeks. We've been hearing it for weeks and years since Hogan and Eric left. That TNA was going under. People were not getting paid, and it has happened. TNA has been sold to an investor, and he's bringing back monthly pay-per-views and has got an agreement in place with New Japan and Ring of Honor. After losing their deal with Spike and going to Pop, TNA has been in decline and lost so many fans. The question is, with this new man at the helm, will he be able to take TNA back to a time before all hell broke loose and lost their big names? This Thursday Impact is being called the big one with all the titles on the line. We hope this show will get back some fans, but we are sure this is going to be a long road of recovery for TNA. With stars like Cody, Hardys and Lashley and World Champion Eddie, we can see TNA coming back, but who will join TNA and who could return? Genesis is the show to watch, and we'll be watching to see what happens. And on Thursday night, and what happens at Thursday night, and what happens on Genesis. So yeah, we're going to talk about Genesis. We're going to talk about everything else. Let's close that down. Right now, and let's go over to the actual game. First view of the game footage for today. You can find me later. From Jim Henson Production Disney. I'm using the Muppet Christmas Carol DVD case for my mouse when I'm doing this. So yeah, we get 58 for the first thing. I'm not going to do anything else. So tonight you've got to look at this show as everything you've seen for the past few months heading into 2017. The end of last year's Impact Wrestling has been scrapped. The whole lot of it has been turned on its head. The champions are the same, but the whole thing, the whole programming has been changed by this new investor. He's gone, scrap it all, let's restart. So, I will be changing the name of the show from TNA Impact to Impact Wrestling on Pop, and then so on and so forth. I'm not changing the name, so this logo, I'm trying to do it with my finger, here will change, and this will probably change as well by next week, but for now, we're going to do it. One has a mountain to climb, a mountain to rise above the rest, but then we fell hard. But tonight, we fight back. Tonight, we begin a journey to rise to the top. Tonight, titles on the line. Legends return as we begin the road to redemption. This is Impact Wrestling, and we are live. And with this, we cut to the Impact Zone. We see a new set, and the 4-sided ring is back. Promo goes off, and then we cut to the downstairs where Mike, Taz, and Tony Schiavone are sat. So we're bringing back Mike today, we're bringing back Taz, and we're bringing back Tony Schiavone, which I think is brilliant for the future of the company. I think, Josh Matthews and D'Angelo Gennaro, who were doing commentary at this time, was shit. Josh Matthews ain't the best commentator in the world. Even now, I can put up with him a little bit. He's got better over the years, but he's not the best. We are doing free tickets, but we've only got 665 people at the Impact Zone, which holds 1,500. So I can show you how far we've fallen, and that's where we'll be for the foreseeable future, I'm afraid. But my site, we are live on Pop, and this is huge. There is a new boss. Who is the new boss? And who the question we've asked, but we won't find out. And who is it? The question we've asked, but we won't find out until Genesis. We heard the rumours. Cody's bringing in some of his friends here tonight from Japan. Will they come? And Taz's like, it feels great to be back with Mike. Look, tonight is the start of a redemption story. Tonight we begin a journey to get our fans back. It seems like we got someone new joining us, though. Tony Schiavone, welcome back. And Tony's like, thanks, guys. Now, I've been told we've got titles on the line, and that begins with the X title, the X Division title. Now, Challenge TV have been an arsehole and won't let me do a ladder match. So that was going to be a ladder match. That's why it says it's hanging above the ring. It's not going to hang above the ring because Challenge won't let me do a ladder match because it's too risky. But in about a decent wrestling Domachi, Rockstar Spud defeated Marufuji, Manjus and DJZ in 73. When Rockstar Spud pinned Marufuji with a 5-stone Spud splash, Rockstar Spud wins the TNA X Division title. So Rockstar Spud 42, Marufuji 40, Manjus 33, DJZ 40. Jesus Christ, that 44. A 44 rating from these guys. It's an amazing way to kick off Impact. That also starts the X Division storyline. So yeah, we've got the X Division storyline. Very important to the company. Get the X Division going. So we're going to talk about this. So DJZ hits his finisher. I'm going to change the end of this match entirely because I don't want it to. So it's not going to be Rockstar Spud. He did pin Marufuji, but he didn't. He hit. So what happens is DJZ comes into the ring. He hits his finisher. Manjus is out on the outside now. He hits his finisher on Marufuji. He goes for the cover. He gets pulled off by Rockstar Spud. Rockstar Spud hits a 5-star stone Spud splash on DJZ, or one of his other finishing moves, which isn't that, on DJZ. Takes DJZ out and covers Marufuji for the free. And we'll cover that later on. But yeah, so Rockstar Spud is now the X Division champion, and that will be played out a little bit later on screen. Then in a terrible match, Io Shirai debuts defeating Maria Kanellis in 5:51 by pinfall the moonsault press. Io Shirai 33, Maria Kanellis 27. Io Shirai's debut with Joshi wrestler gimmicks, concentrating of adequate. And as I say, this is a re-amp for the roster, so new names are here. We've already seen it there in Marufuji in the match. Everyone else is the same as what we've seen previously. And here we go again. Maria Kanellis is part of Impact at this point, but Io Shirai, she's new to the company. She comes out and has a good match. I wouldn't really say terrible wrestling, but yeah. Moonsault press, not bad. Could have been better, but we'll go with it for now. I don't know why DJZ is not on screen. He's meant to be on screen. So we see the parking lot where Spud is getting ready to leave with the title in tow when DJZ comes out of nowhere. And DJZ's like, what was that, Spud? That title should be mine. You pulled me off the pin. That should be mine. And that is a fact. And Spud's like, you did not get the free, You did not get the free. I did. This title is mine. Now I'm going to get going. And he hops in the car and drives off, and then just DJC literally loses it at that point, and he just literally starts smashing up this, stuff around him. He's annoyed because, he should have had the win. Clearly he should have won that match and Spud run it, and Spud is now the champion, and he's not going to be happy about it. Also tonight is all about establishing stables, establishing new storylines. I need to sort Abyss's pictures out because I don't like it. We see Decay backstage with James Mitchell and Psycho Clown. So at this point, Decay have been around about a year. They've been doing some good stuff, but we're gonna expand upon that, I think. And James is like, for over a year, these three have destroyed the men put in front of them. Tonight Abyss put on his mask and welcomes me and Psycho Clown. Tonight Abyss is going to go out on his own, and Steve and Psycho will go for the Hardys next on Impact Wrestling. Now Abyss doesn't appear anymore tonight, but he's going on its own. The new Decay tag team will be of Psycho Clown and Crazy Steve. And then Brandy Decay with James Mitchell is arrived. And in a decent match, the Broken Hardys defeated the Decay 2 in 5:47. When Broken Hardy pinned Psycho Clown with a Twist of Fate and Swanton Bomb combination. The Broken Hardys make defense number 1 of their TNA World Tag titles. Crazy Steve 28, Psycho Clown 24, Broken Hardy 62, Brother Nero 70. I don't know why James Storm is at ringside. I've just read that. James Storm's doing some good work at ringside. Well, James Storm should be at ringside. So yeah, the Hardys retain the titles in a short match, but it really gets across the, getting these two on screen. Very important for me to get the Decay out there. So after the match, the Hardys are celebrating the win of the titles, holding the titles when the lights go out, and then and the Young Bucks are stood in the corners opposite, each other, and they basically just super kick the Hardys. They do the Bullet Club pose, and then leave the ring. So they debuted at Arrogant. It's got to show very good. Nick Jackson Arrogant rating of awful. Brother Nero did not do well with that script, but Matt Jackson clearly enjoyed, and so did Nick. So the Young Bucks have returned to Impact. Not debuted, they've returned. And, what else is going to behold them? They've just attacked the Hardys. So, as I say, we're establishing new stars, and that's kind of a big one. And in about these match crowds, Subpar Wrestling, Bram defeated Grado in 7:44 by people with the Velvet Noise. Grado 22, Bram 49. The Death Crew Council, or whatever the Death Council, whatever the hell it was, the DDC, is gone. that's basically been scrapped entirely. I was going to keep it around. I scrapped it. It's gone. But yeah, so Bram defeat Grado. Just a way of getting Bram on screen because I think Bram's amazing. Then in about a decent match of crap, subpar wrestling, the Briscoes defeat the Bromez in 6:21 when Jay Briscoe pinned Jesse Goddard. Robbie 30, Jesse Goddard 30, Mark Briscoe 45, Jay Briscoe 50. And as I said, we've got that working agreement now with Ring of Honor New Japan. And we've already seen it tonight. We've seen the Young Bucks show up. We've seen, the Young Bucks show up. Now the Briscoes are here on the show in a tag match. It's brilliant. And we're going to go into our next segment now. Do you know what we're going to do? Yeah, I'm going to, because this is where it should happen. So the match is over. The Briscoes are celebrating their win. When we return back to TNA, because they had a few. I think they had one match in NWA TNA at one point very early on in their careers. So they're celebrating their win. They're like, "Yay, we won! Woohoo!" And then, of course, the Bromez attack them, beating them down, and we are turning the Bromez heel. I never liked the Bromez as a babyface team. Never worked for me. So first thing I'm going to do is turn them as a baby heel, and it worked. Their arrogant, cocky gimmick. We're not selling out the Impact Zone anymore. We need to rebuild this brand. And these two do not work as babyfaces. Never did, never will. So they're going to be heels. It ain't going to be a feud, because I ain't got time for it. But it might turn into a feud. I don't know yet. Showing about terrible wrestling on his crowd heat, Rosemary defeated Kaya Hojai in 6:59 by pin of the Olympic Slam. Rosemary makes defense number 1 of the Knockouts title. Rosemary 32, Kaya Hojai 23. She debuted a fan favourite gimmick, Scottish Rhino Awful. And this is what I mean. We're opening the Knockouts division to more women's wrestlers. We've got Kaya Hojai here tonight making a debut. We've had another Knockouts match on the card, which we could have scrapped, where Manea Kanis has lost to another Io Shirai tonight. We're trying to rebuild this brand. This is a show where we're rebuilding, introducing new storylines, introducing new chapters into the show going forward for the next year. And we don't know who the owner is, the man behind all of this, but there's some interesting stuff already happening here tonight. Then in about a decent match of crowd, subpar wrestling, Moose defeated Kingston 8-4 by pinfall the Game Breaker. Moose makes defense number 1 of the United States Championship. So there was that rumour going around about, I don't know when it was, but there was pitches going around of this TNA United States title, which was meant to be brought in. I've got rid of the grand title. The grand title is now the United States Championship, and that gets a 42. Moose got a 40. Kingston got a 47. It's just a way of getting that title on screen. I ain't got nothing planned for it yet. I will sort something out. Next up is your semi-main of the evening. It'll be Lashley taking on Ethan Carter III. This is going to lead into a big angle afterwards. There's some big angles coming now. So in an exceptional match, Lashley defeated Ethan Carter III in 12:42 by pinfall the spear. Lashley got a 66. Ethan Carter III got a 63. You can see there the front line is going to be something, and we'll get into that now. And this is the big angle I wanted to do. So Drew Galloway hinted a face turn, but he got Lil Ashley. He's not very good at playing that role. Yeah, bullshit, is he? He's going to be playing a face. So after the match, Lashley gets up and he continues the beatdown. Then Paul Heyman comes out onto the stage. And he's flanked by Lance Archer and Ryan Reavers, a.k.a. Ryback. And then he points at the ring, and they hit the ring and help Lashley out. Paul's just standing there laughing as then Drew Galloway's music hits and he runs in for the save, but he gets flooded by the men. Then Magnus makes his return on Impact with a steel chair. For the save, they jump out the ring and Paul gets a mic, and Paul's like, "This is the front line, and you three have pushed my buttons. And next week right here, it's going to be Frontline versus you three idiots. I'm not here to be made fun of. I am here to get rid of TNA and this new owner." So he's saying that Lashley, Ryan Reavers, and Lance Archer are here to get rid of TNA, get rid of the current product. And Maggie's like, "You want that match? Paul, next week is, oh my god, I can't wait to rip you three apart on Impact." So let's handle some changes. The turn was a complete success, even though we had this little hint here. It wasn't going to be effective. It's worked. That's all we care about. The logo is also going to change. We're not going to have the blue letters. We're going to have the nice red letters back as well by next week. This is just kind of like the start of the new era. And Ryan Reavers and Lance Archer will make their Impact debuts next week. Magnus will make his return to the ring next week as well. And he'll be joined by Ethan Carter III, and of course none other than Drew Galloway, who I think was an amazing wrestler at the time. He was brilliant at what he did, and I think Frontline, this is one of the big storylines going forward for the company, and that will be the main event next week. But that gets a nice 63, which is brilliant. That leads us into the main event of the night, as Eddie Edwards will take on Cody with the world title on the line. Ignore the cat in the background. And in a bout of a great heat and good wrestling, Eddie Edwards defeated Cody in 22 minutes 22 by pinning the cross-leg Fisherman Buster. Eddie Edwards makes defense number 1 of the TNA World Heavyweight title. Cody got 58, Eddie Edwards got 51, and this is the issue. You've got people like Drew Galloway and EC3 and Lashley who are drawing the main event and doing good matches, and then you do something like this for the main event and it gets a 54 over the 60. As long as we get 62, I think, or over 60, but that's fine. So after the match, why is Kenny King in the match? Kenny King's not meant to be in this angle. It's meant to be Kenny Omega. So after the match, Cody gets up and he looks like he's going to hug Eddie. Then we hear the Bullet Club theme hit. Bullet Club for life. And they hit the venue. They come out. You've got, Mac and Nick are back out there. You've got Kenny Omega and you've got Adam Cole. Then they attack Eddie, beating him down. Then Cody poses with the Bullet Club. Then MVP and James Storm hit the ring and they jump out and leave through the crowd to close this episode of Impact. So you got James Storm and MVP making their returns to. He's turning babyface. Yeah. It was compromised because we did a lot of heels and face turns tonight. That's fine. I'm not really bothered. But yeah, James Storm's now babyface. He's joined with MPP. And we got word from the back this week that after that match, it will be Bullet Club in action next week in a huge match. And this is going to reveal the other man behind this. And that will be James Storm, Magnus. You can see I haven't used these two yet, but you've got Kurt Angle on the roster. I think in Star you ain't got no stars. No. We've also got Cody. I swear Bully Ray's around somewhere. Yeah, there's Bully Ray. So yeah, Magnus, James Storm, and then you've got, oh god, oh shit, that's just broke. I'll fix that in a minute. Oh god, what the hell's going on? I'll try and fix this in a minute, right? But then you've got Brother Nero, Broken Matt Hardy, and Brother Nero, and they will be taking on Kenny, not Kenny King, Kenny Omega, Cody, and then Matt and Nick. I could do the 5. I could possibly make this a 5-way actually, but we'll see. Because I can't remember who's feuding with. Yeah, because I haven't got Adam Cole in the storyline. Oh, Adam Cole's taking on James Storm. Why is Magnuson? Why is he? MVP's meant to. Yeah, so we'll do a 5-way then. We'll do a big 5-10 man tag. I need to really work this out, guys. Sorry about this. I should have planned this better. Ooh. So it's going to be 5v5. This is why you plan things in advance. It's going to be 5v5. We're going to put the faces back on. So we can get MVP in the match. MVP. You got James Storm. And it'll be Kurt Angle, because I ain't really planned this through. So it'll be Kurt Angle as well, making his return to the Impact Zone next week. And they will be joined by Kenny Omega and Adam Cole. I think the issue is we haven't really given Kenny Omega the storyline, which doesn't help. I think that's the issue. Or Kenny's taking on MVP, Young Bucks and Hardys, Adam Cole versus Storm. Who hasn't got a storyline then? Cody versus Eddie. Sorry. That's why. I know what I've done wrong now. It's fine. Ignore Kurt Angle being in this match. You're all probably sitting there screaming at me now because I'm taking too long booking one pissing match. It's Eddie Edwards, isn't it? The world champion. There we go. But that's going to be happening next week as well. So you've got Frontline, and then you've got the Hardys taking on Bullet Club TNA. We're going to finish the show there. That was a very bad closing angle for the show. Gets a 55. We lost popularity in 2 regions. I know for a fact that Pop are going to be annoyed about that. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week for one more in this episode 1 of Impact Wrestling in 2017. This is TNA, and we are back. So last night was Wrestle Kingdom. I swear it's Wrestle Kingdom 11. But we're going to do a quick interlude here. It got an 85 rating with 34,000 people being a part of this show. It was promoted by New Japan. And we had ACH defeating Hirai Karate in the pre-show. Juice Robinson defeating Teruska Mitu. Taxiera's Kizkara, now Desperado defeated Bullet Club, Adam Cole and Chase Owens. Ricochet defeated Dave Finlay Jr. Will Ospreay defeated Jay Lethal. Bushi defeated Jay Wright. Kazuya Shigabara and Suzuki Gun defeated Jay Tutsu and Red Dragon. Chaos Hiroki Goto, Toriano and Yoshihashi defeated Manbai, Nakashima, Gado and Jado. Great Bash Hill defeated Tenkojai and the Bullet Club. Kushida defeated Taguchi to retain the junior heavyweight title. Amiga defeated Sonada in a Sony 4. Ketsuya Shibata defeated Tomoichi, Bone Shoulder and King of Darkness Evil to retain the Never Openweight title. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Cody Rhodes. Tetsuya Naito defeated Juice WRLD and Tiger Mask to retain the IWGP Intercontinental title. And then in the main event, Okada defeated Yuji Nagata to retain the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. What a show by New Japan. And this show, to be quite honest, is one of the best I've seen. You see, this is we've got our eyes on Naito. I don't know if Liger's on the pay-per-view deal. He's on a handshake deal. I think he wouldn't. Oh, he would. Well, I'll tell you, he's coming to TNA then. Every events and ATV shows. There you go. I'll tell you, he's coming to New Japan. Juice WRLD Liger's making his return. Of course, he did appear in TNA in prior years, so he's going to make his return. If I can hire people like this, I will hire them because I think these sort of people are the people we want. We want to, showcase our relationship with New Japan a bit more. So anybody who we can hire from New Japan and bring in who I like and who I think would be good for the company is what we're doing. And this is what I want you guys to see is he's not interested in working in Japan, in America, that's fine. So we can't get Bushi. We can try and talk people into working. But yeah, these guys are going to come in. People like Kushida, who I'm bringing in now, I'm going to put into the X Division. We are having a reamp, and the X Division is going to be its own thing. And all that will happen over the course of the next 4 weeks as we try and rebrand and rebuild TNA. But that was New Japan Wrestle Kingdom. We'll see you guys on Thursday for Impact. Last week was about the flashiness, about the new stars, the debuting returns, and the new man in charge of Impact Wrestling. This week, we got to keep doing what we did last week and do a brilliant show because we got moaned at by everybody. But tonight, Impact Wrestling is live from the Impact Zone. Next week and the week after, we'll be coming to you live from the UK because we'll be taping. After this week, we're going to go back to taping 2 at a time. So every 2 episodes at a time, 1 live, 1 tape 2. So we get a recap of last week's Impact Wrestling, showcasing the Bullet Club's debut and Frontline in particular. And then graphics are shown for tonight's big matches, where we hear Mike and Taz and Tony all discuss the big matches tonight. As we open to the Impact Zone, we're showing the fans and they're discussing this. And then the British Invasion's music hits. And out come the British Invasion, and the fans are looking a bit confused because they're like, what? And then we got this angle, which does terribly, but I don't give a shit because this is the new British Invasion. Mark Haskins will be on screen every week, but he can't wrestle for up to 9 months, so he won't be in action. But yeah, out comes Rockstar Spud with his title, and he's followed by Pete Dunne, Marty Skull, Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, and Mart, and Zack Sabre Jr. And Spud's like, we are back. You see, this is the best of the UK scene. This is Progress's main events right here. Now, our leader is not here tonight, but we are here to take over. Now, me and Pete and Zach are in the X Division, so we're in action now. So get our opponents out here so we can kick their ass. We're not going to hang around here. He's like, the leader of this group is not here tonight, but we are, so we've got a match next. Let's get it out of the way. The X Division has been separated, ladies and gentlemen. It is now its own unique little thing, which is going to be classified as the Action Division. Spud, Zack Sabre Jr. and Pete Dunne are the representatives of the British Invasion in the group. But we do have Will Ospreay as well on the roster, and this match does amazing. But in a poor match, I wouldn't say it was poor. 44, I will accept that. The British Invasion, Rockstar Spud, Pete Dunne and Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Kashija. Will Ospreay and DJZ in 7:57. Rockstar Spud pinned Kashija while using the ropes for leverage. DJZ 43, Will Ospreay 36, Kushida 43, Zack Sabre Jr. 45, Pete Dunne 20, and Rockstar Spud got a 43. Zack Sabre Jr. doing better than Spud in his debut match here tonight. And that's what you want from these guys. You know, I've brought the British Invasion in. I've brought these guys in because, of course, you know, WWE are building the NXT UK division, NXT UK around Pete Dunne, 27, Tyler Bate. And those names, of course, Zack Sabre Jr. never was a part of that, but, you know, nor was Marty Skull. But, you know, we want to build our roster around this. And because we've got our biggest viewerships in the UK, obviously that's not the case in game-wise, but if we're going for real life and I want to represent the UK, and especially with us, you know, going to the UK next week, it's going to be a big opportunity for the UK invasion to make their presence felt. But that's a good angle, good opening angle and match. Just kind of gets you into Impact. We're not going to mess about. We're going to get straight into the wrestling here tonight, and that was it. And then we see JB backstage in the interview area, and but you can tell it's outside the building. It's not, you know, properly covered. It's all outside. And JB's like, well, the British Invasion have returned tonight, and next week we'll be coming to you live from the UK. But joining me now, Frontline. So yeah, we're using the fact that the British Invasion have returned to hype. That is why later on tonight we've got a big angle to write off the Hardy Boys, because of course during this time Hardy wasn't allowed in the UK, so we're going to write them off for the next couple of weeks of TV, heading into Genesis. But they will be in action at Genesis. And Paul's like, thank you, JB. Now we've got the main reason why people are watching Impact, because of me, Lashley, Ryan Reavers, and of course Lance Archer, who's not on screen when he should be. Now look at this group. This group of men. They are the most powerful, most dominant men in all of the rest of the wrestling world. And tonight, JB, it'll be my men winning the match. I'm walking away with the W. The win. And at Genesis, when these guys go it alone against these three idiots live on pay-per-view, it'll be the same outcome. We are the winners, and they are losers. And when they walk off, and then JB's like, well, next up, a sit-down interview with Angle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we want to get some matches planned and booked for TNA Genesis. It's going to be a 9-match card. It could be a bit more than that, I don't know. But at the moment, it's going to be just 9 matches. I'm not going to have everybody wrestling on the card. But yeah, so I'm going to... It doesn't matter who faces who. Okay, it's one big storyline. Awesome. And as you can see, if you look at the storylines, we've got to need at least 35 stories. With 35 you come to shows, you play to fans at least one story per show except B shows. So we've got to have 35. We've got 39 for the Cody and Storm angle. That's got a 48. That's got a 60. That hasn't got anything yet. That's got a 40. And so is that. So all our storylines are over that region mark. And that's what we want. So I'm going to be announcing this now. It's going to be Lashley and Drew Galloway taking each other on at Genesis. I'm not going to go over the 9-match card rule. So... Once we're up to 9 matches, that is the limit we will go for, and it will be over. Even Carter the third will be in action. He's going to be taking on Lance Archer, and then of course in explosive action it will be Ryan Reavers taking on Magnus. One of our biggest stars actually, and he'll be taking on Magnus. Once we've got past Genesis, in the episode 2, once we've done Genesis, I will come back onto the main screen with you guys, and you can have a look at the roster, we'll have a rundown of the company and everything else. But for now, and have a look at who our biggest stars are and stuff. But I don't want to do that just yet until you know who's running the promotion or who's bought the promotion. But you won't know until Genesis, so you have to wait until the end of episode 2. But you can have a look at the company and how things are running. But that is a nice 63, which is not bad from them. I hope in the next angle will do as good as well. He gets a 64. And we see this lovely room. It's got a lovely logo fire. Yeah. Well done, Josh. A logo fire. What we've got? Buddy burning the logo of Facebook and Impact Wrestling. A log fire, it's meant to say. Burning. And a big comfy chair armchairs. And Mike and Angle are just sat there together. And it looks really nice. You know, it's like one of those, you know, when you see pictures of Father Christmas in his room. It's that sort of thing. And Mike's like, over the next few weeks, I'll be here, sat here talking to Kurt Angle. And why he's back in TNA and why he left. Now, I think the first question is, for this is how you're feeling. And Angle doesn't really talk about that. He talks about other stuff. It's not really... We know his mind's elsewhere, but we know that during this time he was meant to go back to WWE. He's meant to go in the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to play on that. And he's like, thanks, Mike. This is lovely. Look, there was talks of me going to WWE, to WWE Hall of Fame. And that would have been great, but I did not like the idea. So when TNA got sold, I came back, and I'm here for one thing, to help the future rise. I think this roster is the best it's been, but because of lack of TV viewers, we've lost it. I think the stars we got could rise. I think with the stars we've got, we could rise again. This is not a story, but a redemption story for Angle. I lost my way in the end of my first run. I am back to reclaim my glory. So next week we're going to find out what Angle thinks about the new names and returning stars. Next up is a tag team match. See, Angle's like, I'm here. I'm back in Impact. Yes. I didn't like the idea of going into the Hall of Fame, and I felt like I didn't give the fans my best when I was last at the Impact Zone. So I'm going to come back. I want to reclaim my glory. But he's saying he wants to help the future stars of the young talent, rise. He wants to help with the future rise. But he also wants to reclaim his glory. So what does all that mean? We have to wait and see, because that's going to be expanding. This is going to be one of those storylines that goes, the British Invasion, the Decay, Angle, and Bullet Club storylines are going to be, built upon over the next year, heading into throughout 2017 and early 2018. You just have to bear with me as I build stuff. In a poor match, Mustache Mountain defeat the Briscoes in 6:28 when 27 pinned Mark Briscoe. The pile driver, Mark Briscoe 47, Jay Briscoe 51, Tyler Bate 19, 27 16. They're not over in the United States. They haven't got the popularity. And also because we're a classic sports entertainment style company at this time point, we've got 3 months until we change that, because I'm changing our product details. So we're not going to be the same as WWE. We're going to be totally different. So we're going to be out there outlandish and a bit different and be that alternative we need to be. But yeah, so until then, we need to push these guys, getting them a win over the Briscoes. And as you will see if I go to Radio Notes, this had to be an open match. It had to be decisive as well. And it got 37. Not the best. In an extremely short match, Bully Ray defeated Grado in 24-48 by pinfall. Grado 23, Bully Ray 57. Expect a few squash matches tonight. Gets to 40, and then Bully Ray gets on the mic. After the match, Bully asks for a mic, and he's on it, and he's like, "Do you know who I am? I am Bully Ray. Now, I left this crappy for the company back in 2015 because I was unhappy with the state of this place." Quite literally what it says on Wikipedia and stuff. "And I came back, and it's worse than ever right now. I am back to bring back the star power to Impact Wrestling. The Bully is back, and this is a war." And he has a nice 61 there. Bully Ray's back. He's like, "I wasn't happy with the state of the company, but I've come back now. We've got a new owner, but the state of this company is even worse than what I left it in." So he's like, "I'm going to bring back star power." And he gets 61. Not bad. And then we see the Bullet Club backstage, and they have their own locker room, and they've got the Bullet Club logo everywhere, where Kenny sees the camera, and he just looks happy, and he's like, "About time you showed up." You see, Impact, no one cares about Angle or Bully Ray. The reason they are watching Impact is because of us, the Bullet Club. Now, last week we made our debut, and some of us returned on Impact Wrestling. And this week we got into a match. Into the match as an army, a revolt against the way Cody has been treated. Last week, Storm and MVP, you stuck your nose in where it don't belong, and now you're a part of this war. But be careful where you stand. This is not about what you think it is about. So Kenny's like, they've mentioned the way Cody's been treated by Impact, which is a lie, because he's been treated amazingly since he came in October. But this is not what you think it's about. It's not about them. There's a lot of questions to be answered in this with the Bullet Club program, and that's the whole point of it. But yeah, so we're not going to be really... So this isn't about them coming in and taking over then. So what is it about if it's not about the title? And as I said, that logo has changed. As you can see, Impact Wrestling on pop. Yeah, it's a 40, which is not bad. In an extremely short match, Tiger Mask IV defeated Aiden O'Shea in 5:06 by pin with a flying headbutt. Tiger Mask 37, Aiden O'Shea 35. It was just a match to get Tiger Mask on screen. 26. In a terrible match, War Machine defeated All Night Express win 8:26 when Hanson pinned Rhett Tice with a Sin City Plunge. Kenny King 41, Rhett Tice 39, Ray Rowe 18, Hanson 26. Just get these tag teams on screen because we didn't use them last week. Gets 37. And then we see a Jay Lethal arrive at the Impact Zone in a limo, and he gets out and he sees the camera, and Jay's like, "Yes, I'm back here once again at the Impact Zone." Look, I'm not the Jay Lethal that you saw last time. I've grown to be the best wrestler in the world. And tonight, right here, I come back. And I'm going to prove why this shit company should have not fired me. And then basically now to discuss this in more detail. And they talk about Jay Lethal and what he's done in Ring of Honor. He gets a nice 49 from Jay. And about a decent match of subpar wrestling, Jay Lethal defeated Juice Robinson in 6:54 by pin with a flying elbow drop. Juice Robinson got a 26, Jay Lethal got a 53, got a 48 overall, which is not bad. Not the best match, but yeah, Jay Lethal's back in Impact. What more do you want? Then we go into a knockouts tag team match as Maria Kanellis and Awesome Kong. As Awesome Kong makes a return to Impact Wrestling, defeating Brandy Rhodes and Jade in 8:20, when Awesome Kong pinned Brandy Rhodes with a Seattle Powerbomb. Awesome Kong 41, Maria Kanellis 24, Jade 31, and Brandy Rhodes 10. Got a 33. Just a nice knockouts match. Let's move on. And then we see Storm, MVP, Eddie, and the Hardys backstage, and they get ready for the match here tonight. And Storm gets the mic, and he's like, look, it's going to be this simple. Bullet Club, you're going down. You picked the wrong company to mess with, and tonight. So we're going to go out there, drink beers, and kick your ass. Sorry about your damn luck. It's not going to be a long promo. It's quite literally a brief promo. These guys are all going to be in action with each other next on Impact. Watch this match, because then we go to ad break and we come back, and that match is going to happen, and it gets a 50. And I think Kenny Omega is going to be out for a long time with that L5/S1 disc herniation, which is not good. Not good for Impact or New Japan or Ring of Honor. But we had about a good heat and decent wrestling. Bullet Club TNA, Cody, Matt, Nick, Kenny, and Adam Cole defeated Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, MVP, James Storm, and Eddie Edwards in 11:45 when Cody pinned MVP with a Crossroads. Eddie Edwards 55, James Storm 62, MVP 54, Brother Nero 65, Broken Matt Hardy 58, Adam Cole 47, Kenny Omega 38, Nick Jackson 38, Matt Jackson 41, and Cody 58. That got a 50 overall. Was he already injured and I didn't realise? But I didn't get a warning about it. I've got warnings turned on. Otherwise I wouldn't put him in the match. So I get to 50. That's not going to be good for us. I don't know if he's going to be able to work through that. Brother Nero, after his botch calls down Omega. Oh, God. Then we're going to head into our main event of the night. Then now to discuss this big, huge main event after what just happened, as Lashley, Ryan Reavers, and Lance Archer make their in-ring debuts. Well, Lashley, of course, not in-ring debut, but Ryan Reavers and Lance Archer are going to make their debuts against EC3, Drew Galloway, and Magnus. The reason I put this in the main event is these are our most popular guys. Only gets a 59 though. In a bout of fantastic heat and great wrestling, frontline Ryan and Lance defeated Magnus and Drew Galloway in 21 minutes 57 when Ryan Reavers pinned Drew Galloway. Lance Archer 57, Ryan got a 64, Archer got a 63, Drew Galloway got 59, Ethan Carter III got a 58, and Magnus got a 57. Ethan Carter III has got a Chichilin neck nerve damage, which is not good. And Lance Archer and Paul Heyman are not a good pairing and don't have zero chemistry. That means Paul Heyman will not be working from him, but Lance Archer benefit of having being in amazing form. So we just stop Paul Heyman working with Lance Archer. Not an issue. Yeah, thank you. So that we think that's the end of the show, but it's not. We have to after the match. We have cameras rushing backstage where Bullet Club are attacking the Hardys backstage. The beatdown is long and it's you can see the blood pouring out. Matt and Nick grab Nero after what and throw through a glass window head first. While Adam and Kenny and Cody throw Hardy into the wall. Then there's a flight of stairs and they throw him down the stairs to close out Impact Wrestling. And we just got 2 camera shots on both the Hardys. Like split, but they're both down and injured. And we're going to finish the show there. If you want to know, there is the pre-show for anyone who's interested in that. We had Brian Lawler, Chris Meadows, Jesse Neal, and Marty Jannetty making special guest appearances. We got 57 overall, lost popularity in 2 regions, gained increased popularity in 28 regions. I think once we've changed from the classic sports entertainment style company and go to no set style in the next 3 months, it will increase our ratings with in-ring action and stuff, so it might get better, but for now, that ain't the best. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got to continue rising, and this is episode 1, but in episode 2, the rise will continue, and will Impact Wrestling be ready for Genesis?